welcome everyone. Now you're here, we'll have some fun. First we'll clap our hands just so, then we'll bend and touch our toes. Welcome everyone. Now you're here, we'll have some fun. Today's animal is a giant panda. Pi-shu, the Little Panda by John Butler. On the slopes of Misty Mountain in central China, a mother panda cuddled her tiny baby. Hidden in the hollow trunk of an old tree, she washed him and fed him with her warm milk as he snuggled happily into her thick, soft fur. His name was Pi-shu, and he was no bigger than one of the patches around his mother's eye. Pi-shu was born with a little pink tail, which would slowly disappear as he grew. His mother, Fifi, thought he was the most beautiful panda she had ever seen. Fifi never left Pi-shu alone for long, and she would often cradle him gently in her strong arms. As Pi-shu grew into a little furry bundle, Fifi carried him around on her back. At 6 months, he had learned to walk on his own, and he started to copy his mother. Chewing on bamboo shoots, Pi-shu liked the taste and the rough feel of the bamboo in his mouth. In another 3 months, he no longer needed his mother's milk. By his first birthday, Pi-shu was strong and adventurous. Everywhere he looked, there were things to play with, trees to climb, frogs that jumped when he sniffed them, bamboo rats that played hide and seek in and out of their burrows. One day, as early winter storms gathered over the mountains, Pi-shu saw a troop of golden monkeys high in the treetops. He followed them as they leapt gracefully from tree to tree. Pi-shu trotted after the monkeys as fast as he could. The little panda had never been so far down the mountainside before. As he pushed through some thick ferns, a smoky smell warned him to stop. He could hear a harsh chomping noise and strange, loud voices. Pi-shu froze as a huge crash shook the ground under his feet. A tree had fallen. Peering out from the ferns, he saw that he was at the very edge of the forest. Men had stripped away almost all of the trees to grow crops of rice and corn, and they were chomping down more trees to burn on their winter fires. Frightened, Pi-shu turned and ran back to find his mother. Pi-shu scrambled through the undergrowth. He came to a small clearing in the forest and nearly ran into a toucan grazing with her baby. They stared at each other in surprise before Pi-shu scampered on, still looking for his mother. When Pi-shu found Fifi, he rushed to her side. She could see that he was very afraid. She sensed that this part of the forest wasn't safe anymore. It was time to leave. Early the next morning, Pi-shu and Fifi set off, climbing higher and higher until they reached a misty plateau. Their oily fur kept them warm, but it was hard work clambering over the slippery rocks, especially for little Pi-shu. With the first snows beginning to fall, Pi-shu and Fifi crossed the high alpine meadow and headed toward the next valley. It looked quiet and peaceful far below. Resting against the cold, hard rocks, they slept as best they could. They awoke the next day to a blanket of snow. Slowly, the pandas descended the steep slope into the valley, feeding on bamboo as they came to it. It was evening when Pi-shu and Fifi reached the valley floor and found a clear mountain stream near a lush grove of bamboo. They ate their fill and settled into a contented sleep as darkness fell. One day, Pi-shu would want to climb other mountains and find a place of his own to live, but right now, he didn't want to change a thing, not for all the bamboo in China. You have been listening to Pi-shu, the Little Panda by John Butler. All right, here's another one we're going to use our hands and our bodies for. This one's called Up the Hill, and I'm going to need you to put your arms straight out for me. Ready? Here goes the turtle up the hill. Creep, creep, creep. Here goes the rabbit up the hill. Ready? Boing, boing, boing. Here goes the snake up the hill. Here goes the elephant up the hill. Thud, thud, thud. Here comes the elephant down the hill. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. We're going to do it one more time. Are you ready? Hands out. Here goes the turtle up the hill. Creepity, 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 creep. Here goes the rabbit up the hill. Boing, 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 boing. Here goes the snake up the hill. And here goes the elephant up the hill. Boom, thud, thud, thud. And here comes the elephant down the hill. Boom, 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 boom. Crash. Giant Panda by Hansen. Giant pandas live in southwestern China. They can be found found higher up in the mountains. There, the warm rain supports lots of plant life. This plant life includes large trees. Bamboo grows beneath these trees, which makes up most of a panda's diet. Giant pandas are 2 to 3 feet tall when on all fours. They can weigh up to 200 pounds. Giant pandas are covered in white and black fur. The black fur covers their eyes and ears. It also covers the bear's legs and shoulders. The fur is thick and feels like wool. This keeps them warm in the cool forests. A panda's molars are large and flat. Its jaws are very strong. This helps the bear chew bamboo, shoots, leaves, and stems. Giant pandas are solitary animals. They come together to have young. Females sometimes give birth to 2 cubs, but usually just one survives. The cub is very small at birth. The cub begins to move around on its own in about 3 months. The cub will stay with its mother for up to 2 years. Then it is ready to be on its own. More facts. Even though they are solitary animals, giant pandas communicate with each other. They communicate by making noises and marking their territories. The giant panda is the rarest mammal in the world. There are only about 1,500 wild giant pandas. A baby giant panda will not open its eyes for its first 50 to 60 days of life. Glossary. Bamboo, a tropical grass plant that has hard, woody, hollow stems. Many kinds of bamboo grow as high as a tree. Molar, a large tooth located in the back of the mouth with a broad surface used for grinding food. Shoot, a bit of new growth. Solitary, living without others. Territory, an area of land that is marked and defended by a particular animal. Wool, the thick, soft, often curly hair of some animals. You have been listening to Giant Panda by Grace Hansen. Hi guys, thanks for joining us for today's Animal Explorers Giant Pandas. We began our journey with Pi-shu, the little panda by John Butler, published by Peachtree, and we got to see little Pi-shu be born and then have to leave his home with his mama. But along the way, we got to see all sorts of milestones, like his first piece of bamboo, traveling over the mountain, all sorts of cool stuff. Then we read Giant Panda by Grace Hansen, published by ABDO. And we learned all sorts of true facts about these animals that live in China and what they eat, how big they grow, 200 pounds and 2 to 3 feet tall. That's pretty big, right? Thanks for joining us for today's Animal Explorers Giant Pandas. Let us know your favorite animal so we can cover it on a future Animal Explorers.